Hey fellow Aquas, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to be doing your second half of July general reading. We're going to start off with some animal energy, like I like it. And we'll go right into the cards. All right. Let's see, what is the animal energy for Aquarius for the second half of July? Feel the need to slow way down. Bop, 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 bada, bop. I mean, yeah, duh. Okay. So we got the sea serpent here. This has definitely come up for us before. Lord knows I don't remember when, but I know it did sometime. I feel like it was earlier in the year. Anyways, this feels very, very, very apt and spot on. So the sea serpent is about a completion of healing, right? This is like, you know, we done. The circle has been completed. But guess what? This does not come up when everything has been sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. No, this is when some serious work has been done. Work that is usually emotional in nature, okay? Because the snake, the serpent, represents healing. This is when that skin has been fully shedded and we are ready to enter into a brand new time, a brand new energy, a brand new chapter. Also, when this comes up, this is an indicator that, like I said, that there's been a lot popping off. There's been a lot going on. Could have been feeling really in your emotions, or there could have been a struggle between like, oh my God, like I'm feeling things. I'm being triggered by things I'm not normally triggered by. Life is happening in a way that just feels a little difficult to manage in a way. You know what I mean? Anything that happens that takes us Aquarians out of that, because we are naturally good at being in observer mode, right? Being an observer, like a scientist, taking that bird's eye view and looking at it from that aerial perspective and seeing the bigger picture. And because we're good at doing that, we are not at the mercy of our emotions. We don't let them run us like some water signs can. Okay? And that's a beautiful strength of ours. But when this comes up, emotions have definitely been happening. There's been some healing going on. It does feel like part of this has to do with the past. But I have to tell you, it feels like it goes a lot deeper than just our personal past. It feels like karmic DNA from our ancestors, from things that happened a long time ago that maybe we forgot about or thought we were over, things coming up, especially around our family too, things coming up for healing, where it's almost like, really? Like, I don't recall signing up for this particular course at this time. It's like you're saying that to like your professor, like your spirit professor, your professor of spirit. And you're like, I don't think I signed up for this course. I only wanted to take fun electives. And you've signed me up for like advanced math. It's kind of what it feels like here. But the important part is, we didn't get the snake, we got the sea serpent. Okay? Because if we got the snake, it's like, okay, this healing might take a minute because the shedding of the skin is the hardest part, you guys. It is. It's uncomfortable for that snake. It is. They have to, that's when they're most vulnerable to predators and everything else. But this has been completed, and it probably hasn't been, like I said, peaches and cream. But it's at a point of completion. Hello. And that really makes sense with the meditation I saw too, which by the way, there was so much water in the meditation, which is cool. Okay, so let's see what's going on from Aquas for second half of July. But yeah, when the sea serpent comes up, it's like, okay, all right, you did it. You learned what you needed to learn. We might be licking our wounds a bit, but we done. We're going on to something else. So this next 2 weeks could really just be a completion or a tying up of these energies or conflicts or situations, okay? What did I say? 8 of Swords, repping our air sign selves here. I feel like this is directly speaking to what we are healing from and moving away from dollies, because this came up in the first position here, okay? So Eight of Swords, that mind prison that we make ourselves. We're really good at our mental cardio, aren't we, though? That analysis paralysis, we the best at it. Geminis and Libras ain't got nothing on us with the analysis paralysis, okay? So yeah, this is that, being really up in our heads, feeling like, we can't see the forest through the trees type situation. But I like how this is laid out too, because you're like looking onto the horizon, can't necessarily see it with this crimson blindfold he's got going on, but he's looking out through the horizon. I really feel like this is an energy that we've been in, and now we're moving into something else, okay? I don't feel it'll, this is not like, happening in a snap crackle, like in a moment. It'll be a minute, but what's on the other side of it, to be quite honest with you, is what I'm most interested in. And doesn't that sound like every Aquarian, like, in the world, where it's like, okay, this is going on now, but show me what's coming. Show me, like, what's on the other side of this, right? Yeah, it's been real. It's been real. Ah, ha, 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 ha. But of course, we have the High Priestess here. Absolutely we do. I don't think I've ever said this on here before, but the High Priestess for me, yes, we are signified by the star key in the deck. That is our, our card. But for me personally, the High Priestess for me represents Aquarians. Okay? It does. And it always has. Mostly because, like I said, like Aquarians are very, very, very psychic. Okay? Very, very psychic. However, they also hold within them the ability to be that observer, right? Which the High Priestess is really, really good at. She's really good at receiving that information to look at the unknown and what is not easily or at first glance discernible, see what's underneath it, but not necessarily get all up in her feelings about it like the Queen of Cups can. That's the big difference for me between the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, right? The Queen of Cups receives all of this psychic information and then she can get up in her feels about it. High Priestess doesn't. She's like, I see all this, I discern all this, yet I don't necessarily feel like, I need a cup of hot cocoa and a warm blanket. I'm good. I'm chilling, right? That's the High Priestess for me. And this is a beautiful energy. This is all about tapping into our own intuition and being our own best counsel, right? But let me tell you something. This is really, 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 really important right now, and this has been coming up a lot recently, which makes perfect sense with the sea serpent. And I know I've talked about this before. That when we are in a place of Eight of Swords where it feels like life is happening at us, and us as Aquarians too, that's not our favorite. It's like I wouldn't go as far to say that all Aquarians like control, but we do like to facilitate or be a co-creator in what is going on. We're creators, we just are as Aquarians especially, right? So when we feel that things are happening at us, and there's no room for us to kind of participate in it, it doesn't feel fabulous. It can get us right into this Eight of Swords place, right? What am I really saying with this though? The key word being surrender. Surrender, right? It's like, got to get to that point where we surrender and we're like, okay, I'm going to truly go with this ebb and flow and just be in a place of receptivity and try not to judge what's happening to me, nor will I judge my response to what's happening to me. It feels really important to say. And again, with the sea serpent here, it's the completion of a cycle. It's emotional healing. It's also a healing of a certain patterns I'm hearing. I don't know why I felt the need to say patterns like that, but that's what it feels like. It really feels like we might be stepping into a place where things are illuminated, where we're like, you know what? I'm about to do this differently. I swear, I've never noticed that. Where's the pentacle? I've never noticed this. In the Magician card, we have all of, the pentacle, the wand, the sword, the chalice or cup here is always represented. I never noticed it in this deck in particular, that it's repped here as well. So I feel like this is saying we're going to use all the tools at our disposal to kind of move into a place where we're surrendering and, you know what? We can have grace during this period, right? Personal grace, where we're staying within our own integrity as best we can about everything that's going on, but also it takes true grace and true bravery to truly surrender. It just does. It really, 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 really does, right? All right, let's see what else is going on from Aquas. Nine of Wands. Yes, and you know what? This makes a whole lot of sense, you guys. Okay, so Nine of Wands. It's, what do we like to say about this? Everybody says this is the wounded warrior key. But to me, you know, this is about never giving up, not quitting, going forward. You know, there are going to be some times and some days, and this really might be the case with a group of y'all, where it's taking more effort than usual to even do the simplest of things. It may be even that getting out of bed in the morning, you might be needing more sleep, or sleep has been eluding you because of a lot of the mental cardio going on. It just feels like there's a maximum amount of effort, but the point of the Nine of Swords is that you keep on going anyway. That's the point of this. Now, along with this too, I'm getting, because there can be a sense of guardedness here, it's just this feeling of, listen, I got about all on my plate that I can handle right now. So it's this feeling of like, and this is going to sound a little bit dramatic, but what else is new? It almost feels like you're in a place of survival, where it's like, listen, it's like I said, it's taking even extra effort for me to do things that normally, you know, come more easily to me. So I don't have time, I don't have the energy to take on anyone else's whatever's problems, tasks, favors, right? You might be putting that phone on do not disturb a little bit more. And that's what it feels like. It's like, you know what? It's taking all I have right now to just do what I got to do for me, to go to work and do a great job, to feel awake. Right? It feels tired. It feels tired. Right? However, that's okay. Because also, you know, as Aquarians, it does feel like, you know, there has been, previous to this, a lot of giving of your time and energy, always being a counsel for other people, always being there for other people, right? And then sometimes we can put our own needs on the back burner, partially maybe for some of y'all, because I know this is true for me, because it feels much better a lot of the times to listen to someone else's problems or help them out than to really deal with our own stuff. Has that ever happened to you? Where you have a lot going on and then you get a friend on the phone and they're like, what's going on with you? Tell me everything. And then you're like, actually, do you know what would be like the best thing for me right now? Would be to hear about you and your stuff. Because I don't even wanna. Oh my God, how funny. I never wear this ring really too much, but this is a snake with merlinite here. We got the sea serpent here, how funny. But yeah, it really feels like we're at like maximum capacity right now, and we gotta be okay with it. We can only do what we can do, okay? And it really is about getting our own cup full again, getting our own battery recharged before we can offer it to anybody else. That's just what it is, okay? Eight of Swords here. Let's talk about it. Let's clarify for Eight of Swords. I feel like this is for this. Okay, so we got Eight of Cups to clarify the Eight of Swords. I believe I mentioned this earlier. Remember when I said that this feels like a culling, a healing, a removing of past pain or karma that is deeply embedded within us, whether it's from a long time ago in our personal history, right? Or it's even, I could even go as far to say that, you know, we do hold karma within our DNA structures of our ancestors. We do. News at 9. It's true. we really, really do. And, you know, depending on our life path, that can, you know, either manifest in the physical for us. We really start to feel that, which basically means that we start to live out patterns that our ancestors did because it's within our DNA. But for others of us, it's like, you know, depending on if we signed up for the graduate soul plan or the middle school soul plan, or the elementary school soul plan, or the preschool soul plan, darling. It can either manifest for us or not, but it really feels like right now things are being called about pain and history and patterns that have been held within our body for some time. We have the Eight of Cups here. This is not a pleasant removal of those energies and patterns, but it really feels like we are short on time. And I don't mean that to say like, oh, we're short on time, you better get it together. No. It feels, there's almost this feeling of like, wow, there's a lot coming up to be healed. I don't necessarily feel like myself all of the time, okay? Let's keep in mind that Mercury in retrograde is very real, okay? There's a reason behind everyone always saying, oh God, Mercury in retrograde. By the way, not every Mercury in retrograde is that dramatic. Sometimes the Mercury in retrograde, depending on where we're at and our signs and everything, the placement of the moon, can work for us, right? But this Mercury in retrograde, okay, it's been real, and it has been difficult, especially with communication, with how we see ourselves, with how we see others, but it's also about our immediate response to things. As Aquarians, we're pretty good at filtering out depending on how in alignment we are, we can be rather apt at filtering through our first response, editing it, and then responding. Which to me is what confounds a lot of people about us, but to me, that's like our most lovable quality, right? It's really hard to get us in our feelings in a way where it's like you say something and then we're just gonna pop off right back without, filtering it through first. Now, that can happen when we're pushed to our edge or depending on how, evolved, aligned we are. But for the most part, we're pretty good filters and editors of our own first response, right? That's why we're infamous for taking a moment, separating ourselves from the energy and then coming back towards it, right? But it really feels like we've been in a place where our editing system has been faulty. It's been a little faulty. And that's okay. There's a greater reason for it. There's just a lot to be learned and healed. Sea serpent, right? I'm also hearing that, it's funny because I keep getting this feeling that the external given circumstances are not necessarily conducive to alone time, that you might have to manufacture your own alone time. But it feels really important. Aquarians in general, we love alone time. There's no one's company that I enjoy more than my own. And I've been that way since I was a little baby. I've always really been that way, and it's because, Aquarians and our mind palaces and our imagination and our thoughts, it's like, we have no problem being alone, and we really, really relish it. It feels like you might have to insist upon it, set some boundaries, and manufacture it if you have to, okay? That's what this feels like. Yeah, because the High Priestess is not something that we can do or receive when we're going. Okay? Because we also got the Knight of Wands here, people. Knight of Wands, okay? Oh, and the snake, and another snake here. Hello. Listen, the Knight of Wands is a fast-moving energy, but it can also leave as quickly as it came in. So I'm really hearing for you guys, because we got, the High Priestess is the number 2. It feels like it's really important time to balance your energy. You may have less energy than you normally do during this, last bit of Mercury in retrograde that we got going on here. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, I know it's summer. Yes, depending on where you are, of course, in the world. But for at least, anybody in the U.S. at least, or whatever, it's summertime. There's a lot that goes into like, oh, this is the time to run out and do the most, and the sun doesn't set until, freaking 9 o'clock at night and all of this stuff. But it feels like winter energetically. Oh my God, that's what it is. That's what it is. It feels like, even though it's summer for a lot of us, energetically it feels like winter. What do we do during winter? We spend a lot of time inside, on our own. We're not doing the most. The sun sets a lot earlier. There's a lot more darkness than there is light to the day. It's a time for reflection, right? Being on our own, being in the quiet. There's a lot less pressure to go out and do the most and socialize and get it, really gobble up the summertime. But if you are in a place, if you're watching this and you're in a place where you're like, it feels like winter for me, then let it be winter. Then let it be winter. Because it feels like your energy, your physical energy, your emotional energy, hell, even your intellectual energy is a finite resource right now. And the worst thing that you could do would be to deny that for you. To deny it and be like, no. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing it. Which makes sense with the 9 of Wands here, right? I am hearing it is so important right now that if it feels like winter time to you, then let it be winter. Okay? Let's get a clarifier for this 9 of, which can be hard if people around you aren't feeling like it's winter for them. And it's tough to have to say no to people. It's tough to have to say no to things. It's tough to have to say no to yourself when you're used to going and getting all these workouts in, or, socializing and doing this and that. It can be difficult to be like, no, and then they have to be like, why? What's going on with you? And then it's like, what do you say? No is a full sentence, right? But trust and believe that if they are truly of your highest and best good, the family, the friends, the partners, whatever it is, the coworkers, they will be there when your winter transitions into true summer, or whatever it is, right? We got the 7 of Wands here, 7 of Cups, right? It's a 7 of Cups in reverse, and I rather like this, and this is kind of brilliant if we look at it this way. So, do you see in the 9 of Wands here how the sun is out, and then we have the sun here on the top of the 7 of Cups, and it's in the reverse, and the moon, echoed by the High Priestess, is down here as well. Yeah. I mean, let's just call a thing. This full moon in Capricorn with the eclipse during the retrograde, I mean, it's been real. Everyone's been talking about it, obviously. But with the 9 of Wands here and the 7 of Cups in reverse, I gotta tell you, this really feels like even in the midst of knowing the struggle is real, or just having less energy, or just feeling like a little bit depleted, right? That the more you acknowledge where you are, okay? Acknowledging where you are and embracing where you are on any given day, at any given time, is going to lead to a beautiful clarity of mind and emotion. Really feels like the key word here, my lovies, is surrender. This 7 of Cups here, when this is in the upright, right? This is about feeling super, let's see if this describes you. Where you've been at, where we're moving into. This is feeling overwhelmed, although that's not a real emotion, because at the root of overwhelmed is really saying that you feel afraid, right? But this is feeling foggy-minded, like you don't know up from down, you can't see the forest through the trees, feeling like your energy is going a lot of different places instead of consolidating into one single source from which you can draw from. Right? It's kind of feeling all over the place. And like, I don't know, I can't deal with it. I don't know, I gotta shut down. That's what it feels like. It's like when the computer is like, but I'm shutting down, right? I keep seeing this robot. That's like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm doing this, I gotta shut. That's what it feels like, right? Allow the shutdown to happen so that the reboot can happen, right? That's what this feels like. At the end of the day, this is about confusion. Feeling confused, personally, I'll let you in on this, a little fact about this crow lady here. Feeling confused is my least favorite state of being. Number 1, least favorite state of being is feeling confused. I can't stand it. You, my fellow Aquas, may be able to relate to this. We like answers, we live on clarity, right? When we're left with more questions than answers, which leads to confusion, talk about 8 of Swords. Talk about 8 of Swords, right? I just feel like I want to just clean it up, right? I just want to clean it up with some Mrs. Myers over here. I do, though. I feel like let's get some goddess guidance. Let's get some goddess guidance. My lovely Aquas. But I feel the need to say this. I feel the need to say this because this has been a very medicinal reading here, not so much with the puppy dogs and rainbows. I mean, even in this third position here, it's like the sugar with the medicine isn't like, and then at the end you're gonna be running through the fields with a love, and you're gonna, have loads of this and blah, 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 blah. It's like, on the other side of this is a clarity of mind and emotion and feeling like you are in a more sturdy and sure-footed place than you were before. And you know what? Okay? Sometimes that is all we need at any given point in time, just to have a clarity of mind and focus. And remember, it really may feel like you need to, if you have to manufacture some time alone, do it. Do it. Let's get some goddess guidance, shall we? Goddess guidance. It feels like August is going to be super different. I will say that. That is around the time that Mercury goes direct. Then we have that shadow phase, but it's around that time anyway. And it's definitely at the tail end of it. So just hang in there, my lovely aquas. I will say this, and this came through more in the meditation than what we're seeing in the cards right now, but it does feel like the majority of the work has been done at this point, and that this eclipse is the denouement. So I feel like the full moon yesterday with the full moon in Capricorn, the eclipse, all of this stuff, retrograde at its peak, that feels like it was the climax, and these next 2 weeks are going to be the denouement, which is the the aftermath of that, going down from the mountaintop, where it's like, oh, mountaintop. Oh my God, I had a visual helper here and I didn't even use it. Okay, look at this. So see at the peak of this mountain here, this was everything leading up to the full moon in Capricorn, eclipse, Mercury in retrograde. This is the climax, okay? Now these next 2 weeks are going to be this denouement down this way, but it's a good thing. Going down is good because it's much easier to walk downhill than it is uphill. So we've gone uphill. Oh my God, it was so hard. And now it's a slow denouement. And the denouement is going to feel really good. Okay, trust me on that. I saw it very much in your meditation. Okay, and then look what we got. I'm so obsessed with this. Okay, we got peace. Yes, queen. There is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. And you bet your bottom dollar it is, because I absolutely felt that. I absolutely felt that and feel that. Okay, like I said, and look how the colors are matching up here. With the sea serpent and peace here, like I said, if we were still in for a lot of this, Sturm und Drang and angst and maximum amount of effort, we would have gotten the snake, not the sea serpent. Okay? I feel the need to really hammer that home. I also want to point something out. Blue seems to be a very important color, which is the throat chakra for this reading. I got blue nails. I decided to wear a blue shirt. I always have, lapis lazuli and azurite here. The sea serpent is blue, and then this is blue. Feels very, 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 very blue. And I have to tell you that for some of you too, with the throat chakra, because we already talked about that editing system and how our editing and filtration system of our thoughts might be feeling a little janky, might be, not working as efficiently as it normally is. I do feel like for you guys, if that really resonates with you, the best thing to do around that is to just acknowledge that that's the case. Sometimes just acknowledging that and being, instead of judging ourselves, my God, why did I say that? Why couldn't I have just held that? Oh my God, I cannot believe that came out of my mouth. That very much can happen during a retrograde season. Absolutely, especially right now, right? So it's not about berating ourselves because of it or being down on ourselves because, it feels like we've just been having to work extra hard to even do what we normally do. There is a greater purpose and reason to this. This is the closing out of this chapter. This was the, like I said, the final climax before the beautiful denouement, which is the lessening of that struggle and effort. And we're going to start walking downhill instead of up. It feels really important to say that. I also want to point out these dolphins. Can you see that? These dolphins in the background? Hello. Dolphins are all about joy and fun. okay? Now I know that I've just been talking about how, you know, it's been really hard to find time for even the simplest mundane of things. But I do feel like that there are going to be moments of joy and opportunities for joy and connecting in. And we shouldn't go so far in extremity to where we are just like dealing with our own situation, right? To where we don't allow ourselves to, and this, it feels to me like these are the small things. These are the small moments of joy. These are the small moments of synchronicities from the universe that come up, like when you're having a really troubling day and you're feeling stressed out and you look to your right and like a butterfly is right in your face. That's happened to me a lot lately, actually. I know it's the season of the butterfly, but they don't necessarily come right up in your face like that. Like, wow, cool. You gonna land on my nose? Am I Snow White right now? Okay, are the birds gonna come singing? But it's those small moments to really notice those synchronicities from the universe, because they're always there. It's just about whether or not we notice them. Really. That's really what it's about. Okay, but remember what I said. This is the denouement post-climax. Okay, and I had been feeling this. I feel like I even talked about this maybe around our birthday season or something. That August is going to feel, it feels really important somehow, but not important like more hard lessons to learn, buckle up. No, it feels spicy and delicious and like a really good home cooked meal. That's what August feels like. And if you think about it, the full moon will be in Aquarius in August, right? I feel like that full moon's going to be, I don't know, just extra delicioso for some reason, and we shall see how that comes to pass. But this is just the last bit of it, okay? The name of the game is self-care and appreciating the small things and not judging yourself for what you don't have the energy or faculties to do, okay? All right, my lovely Aquas. Woo woo! This was your second half of July general reading. I so hope that this was of help and resonated with you. If it was and it did, please let me know in the comments below. You know, I live for you guys the most. You know, I always post you guys first. We are definitely in this together. And I know this was a lot of medicine here, but if I could like send you the feeling behind it, like through this technology, I know this is a lot of medicine, but it feels really, really good. Okay, remember, it's the denouement. Okay? All right, my beautiful Aquas. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. And most of all, as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.